Okay. Welcome to All Things Internet. This is a show where we talk about things we see on the internet that usually have to do with the internet, and Emily does her freaking best to fact check everything. I do not. Hi, I'm Rachel Ballinger, and I'm here with my co-host,
Emily Brostaff.
And today, if you're watching, we have very annoying backgrounds because we found out we could have backgrounds. That's all. Let's take them off now because I don't want to annoy people the rest of the time.
Yeah.
All right. So, hi. Emily, take your background off.
I'm trying.
Oh my God.
None. Okay.
There it is. All right. So today's episode is going to be a little bit different than normal because Emily had an entire episode written out. And then this morning, which is Sunday, she woke up and the LaBrants family had posted an anti-abortion documentary, quote unquote. So Emily and I are obviously very passionate about women's rights and women's right to choose what they do with their bodies. So the majority of this episode is going to be Emily and I first giving you the facts of what the LaBrants family has posted and then our opinions on it. We realize we will probably get backlash from this. Not everyone is pro-choice, but we are very firm in our beliefs, and this is our podcast. So we're going to give you the facts without our opinions, and then our opinions, and why we have them. So we realize we can lose followers. That's fine. If we lose them because we're strong in what we believe for the rights of all women and rights of all people's bodies, then that's what it is. Okay. Hi.
Yep. Hi.
How you doing, Emily?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. I know that you've spent your morning researching and getting heated.
I know. I called you like 3 times. I was like, oh, you can't.
She's like, can we talk about? So first, would you like to start with the facts that you have found?
Sure. Want to give a big trigger warning. If you don't want to hear about topics like abortion and miscarriages and related medical terms, feel free to just join us next week. We understand that not everyone is able to sit through discussions like this and be in a good mental health space. So we do not judge, and we hope to see you next week if this isn't your vibe.
I know. I hope to see you next week. I love you all.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes I can't watch certain stuff or listen to certain stuff. That's totally fine. If you're not in a space to absorb it, that's no tea, no shade. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. So before I state the facts, I wanted to state that I did watch the full video. Someone, one of the fans of the podcast, had screen recorded the entire thing and had sent it to me. I definitely I know it was very dedicated and I love it. I can always depend on Gen Z.
Yeah.
I needed to watch it in order to report on it properly. But I did just want to give everyone listening a reminder that you should not watch the documentary on the LaBrants page. They said at the beginning of their video that they are donating the proceeds to a pregnancy center, which is a well-recognized covert way to say that they're donating their profits to an anti-abortion pregnancy crisis center, which if you don't know what those are, they're centers designed to look like women's clinics, much like Planned Parenthood, and they often give you the impression that they're there to help and that they have medical clinics and that they have medical experts on staff, but really they just lure you in and basically indoctrinate people who are pregnant into thinking abortion is wrong by guilting you with horrific graphic images and scaring you and using shame tactics and telling lies and providing false promises of help. So if you watch their video, I think they disabled the comments because that's the way to promote something. But yeah, every watch, every download, every share you give them, it's just putting money directly into their pocket and therefore directly into the pockets of these disgusting organizations. So if you do want to watch it on a third-party website that doesn't contribute to their AdSense, or find a T channel that reposts it. By the time this episode airs, there's going to be 1 million reposts of their video. Try not to click on the one on their channel.
Yes. Okay. So.
Yeah. Oh, also, you did that live stream on Thursday. Is that GoFundMe still?
Yes.
Link still good?
I will put the link in this description. I did a live stream completely unrelated to the LaBrants family. I did a live stream to help women, and the place we donated to was Planned Parenthood. So that GoFundMe, that was just completely unrelated.
How ironic.
I know. So that I lost subscribers during that as well.
Yeah.
I hope you find peace in yourself. But anyway, that GoFundMe link will be live and active until the end of this month, as well as the live stream. So if you watch the live stream, any money I make from that live stream from now until the end of the month will be donated to Planned Parenthood National, and the GoFundMe is Planned Parenthood Los Angeles. So
love it.
There we
go. So we'll put that link in. Okay, so here are the facts without our opinions. So the LaBrants family is this very prominent YouTube family that are very Christian based. And they posted a video last night on April 9th. And the video starts off with showing images of a growing fetus with the sounds of a heartbeat getting louder and louder, and then the sound of a flat line. Then a voiceover comes over images of pro-choice activists protesting, saying that abortion is one of the most debated topics since 1973. So basically, they're just like introducing the idea of abortion.
Okay.
Then they no opinions. Then they show. I'm gonna try and be very neutral.
No opinions. We're doing facts and then our opinions.
Yep. Facts. All right. Then they show a clip of a cartoon video of a late-term abortion being performed. And followed up with the statement, "We truly believe that love is the answer instead of pro-life or pro-choice. Is it possible for us to be pro-love? Is it possible for us to love both the mother and the baby?" Then they show...
Sorry, no opinions.
Yep, I know. This is so hard.
Oh, the things I want to say. Okay.
This is so hard.
This at the same time is giving my opinion. Sorry, continue.
Yep. All right. Then they show a comparison clip of the number of people who have died in the Holocaust and other genocides compared to the number of abortions in the U.S. Wow, I just burped. In the U.S. Talking about this is making me sick. All right. Nope, no opinions. The voiceover says...
that was a fact, not an opinion.
That was a fact. So after they compare, the Holocaust and the number of abortions that take place in the U.S., the voiceover says, "Where is God's heart at? Where is all the truth and peace amongst the chaos and lies?" While showing clips of sick preemie babies, clips of ultrasounds, clips of graveyards, and even a clip of a procedure chair. Then the scene opens up... Then the scene opens up to Savannah and Cole talking directly to the camera, saying, "So if you're watching this and thinking, should I keep my baby even if it's too hard? As a matter of fact, I was in that position." So Savannah says that. The whole premise behind their YouTube channel is Savannah got pregnant at 19 years old. She was the single mother, struggling, didn't know whether she... could make it as a single mom, decided to have her daughter Everly. And basically that's how she built her entire platform is, being this single mom with this cute kid and documenting the whole thing. So that's why she's saying, as a matter of fact, I was in that position. They talk about why they're doing the documentary, saying they feel if they can save even just one baby, it'll all be worth it. Then they interview an anti-abortion OBGYN who used to perform abortions. They ask his professional opinion when he thinks life begins, to which he responds, "A human egg is fertilized by a sperm, and that is a single-cell organism which has a unique genetic makeup. So at fertilization, you have a living cell. So human life begins at fertilization." He also says, when you figure out that killing...
I can't even have the microphone near me right now. I have it pointed away. I can't believe you're stating these things.
It's real hard. When you figure out that... So he goes on to say, this is the OBGYN that used to perform abortions. When you figure out that killing a baby this big... So he shows with his hands. When you figure out that killing a baby this big for money is wrong, it doesn't take you too long to figure out that if the baby is this big or this big, it's all the same. They then go on to interview another doctor who describes how abortions are performed, being super graphic, which I will not go into, all while showing parts of the procedure via cartoon drawings. They jump back to the original anti-abortion doctor who talks about people who require life-saving abortions. So, sometimes people get pregnant. I've
known some people who've had to do that.
Yep, they really want the baby.
Fun for them.
Yep, they really want the pregnancy. They wanted the life. This was planned. And then, a little while in or whenever into the pregnancy, they find out that if they continue with the pregnancy, they will die. So he said the way to fix that problem so that you don't have to do any abortions is to deliver, take care of them both, and leave it in God's hands. Then they go to talk to someone who had a failed abortion. Cole interviews his family members that almost got abortions but didn't, saying, if my grandma had decided to get an abortion, I wouldn't be here. My kids wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's how life works. Sorry. No. Okay.
Would that be such a bad thing? Anyway, they go on to introduce the anti-abortion charity they're working with, which I already spoke about in the beginning, which tricks women into keeping their pregnancies. That's an opinion. It's not. It's not an opinion. That is a fact. That is exactly what that organization does.
Continue.
Also,
we're trying really hard to be good.
We're trying really hard. I do want to apologize. I keep slipping up and saying when women get pregnant, I do recognize that non-binary people and transgender people get pregnant. And so I am going to try and use the term carrier instead of
I'll try to
woman.
use the word people.
Yeah.
Apologies if we slip up.
Yeah, definitely. Cole briefly rambles about foster systems and communities that need support, and that there's a lot that people can do to show love and serve others. Throughout the whole video, they're using conflicting images of fetuses in utero, clips of abortions being performed, and then jumping to clips of their own thriving and happy children to evoke certain emotional responses out of viewers, all while playing super sappy music in the background.
Emily? Oh, sorry, that last one.
God. That was
okay,
teetering.
It was teetering. All right. So
yep, let's get into it.
Wait, before we get into our opinion, let's check to see if we have a sponsor for today. Sponsor. That's it is our sponsor for today. Between filming, traveling, and recording this and filling out the daily Wordle that I always do, you guys know I have a lot going on, and anything that can help make my day just a little bit easier is a win in my book. And so that's why I have to tell you about my new favorite fruit bar, That's It. What are they, you ask? Well, they're bars made from 100% real fruit. Yep, that's it. You get it? That's the name. That's it. I love these bars because they are quick, easy, and they're good for you. They have no added sugar, they're gluten-free, and they are completely plant-based. How's that for healthy? I can take them with me anywhere, and I know I have a healthy snack on me at all times. And if you know me, you know I love snacking. I could snack all day long. That's It is giving All Things Internet listeners a special discount. So if you're looking to try these fruit bars for yourself, head over to that'sitfruit.com/allthingsinternet and use code allthingsinternet to get 20% off your first order. Again, it's that'sitfruit.com/allthingsinternet. Happy snacking, y'all. Okay, so hi. Mm-hmm. You want to just restate every single thing that was said so we can just scream at it?
Sure. Do you want to know the first thing I wanted to talk about?
We're not allowed to cuss.
But it's gonna be so hard. But even when I was typing this out, I was like, beep, beep, beep. I was like, no. I kept on to press the back button. But yeah, the fact that all of this is disgusting and manipulative and gross. Cole says in the documentary,
scientific. There's no science in it.
No.
Continue.
Yep. He says, and this is a direct quote, "This documentary by no means is trying to illegalize abortion. After this documentary, you're still going to have the choice." That, you want to know my comparison? The only thing that came to my head, that's basically like saying, I'm not encouraging racism, but if you look at the statistics on the Black community's crime rates, and then you just like go on to state other super racist statistics. Like you can't say that you're not supporting something and then just be like, but, and then state facts that directly conflict against it.
Also, the choice is going up for vote.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why do you think they did this now? Why do you think they did this now?
I am obviously I'm very passionate about women's rights, people's rights, but it is so out of line to try and compare abortion rates to the Holocaust. That right there is so disrespectful on a whole other level. Whole other level. No.
It's genuinely embarrassing for them. Like comparing a person's choice to not continue with a pregnancy to a person being rounded up and slaughtered up, is
tortured,
foul.
Ripped from their families, and then gas chambered. Nope, that's not it. That's not it.
Yeah, They're trying to grasp at any little straw they can in order to push their argument. Because, yeah.
Also, can we talk about real quick the doctors who said don't abort the baby when there's a life-threatening thing, just deliver the baby? Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing. But the baby is already passed, or it won't survive out of the womb. Like,
or if it does, it's going to be horrifically tortured.
Yeah. So, no. And also, I want to say this. No one that has an abortion is excited for it.
No.
It is a really hard decision for any person to make. And it does stick with them. But I have known people who have had abortions and it was the right choice for them.
Yep.
And I'm happy for that. I'm happy. I don't know if I would ever be able to go through with one. And that is my choice to make. No one is excited about it. No one's excited about it. But we have the choice. And we are not forced to do something with our bodies that we do not want to.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go through.
Cole says at one point, as men, I feel like we need to step up. Right. As a man, let me tell you what you need to do with your body.
I'm not going to tell them what to do with their body parts. That's their body parts.
As men, he says, this is a direct quote again. As men, I feel like we need to step up. We need to rise to the occasion. Whenever something may seem unfortunate and difficult at the time, may come to be one of the greatest blessings in your life. They are so out of freaking touch with what single parents, young mothers, struggling caretakers go through, because Savannah never had to go through any of that. I get that she had a crap partner that left her alone, that she chose not to raise this child with, but she was also white, beautiful, had an incredibly wealthy family that took her in and supported her when she was left to raise this child on her own. Then she got famous off of being an attractive mom with a cute kid and exploited her child for views. And now they live a luxurious life with no financial struggles, have all the resources in the world, and still choose to sit up on their high horse and have the audacity to tell other pregnant people how they should choose to prioritize a clump of cells over their own well-being. Please explain to me again how you could possibly understand what other people are going through with your privileged freaking life.
The toughest choice they might have to make is getting an abortion.
Yep.
That could be the toughest choice for them to make. That doesn't it could, the toughest choice might be the best. That could be abortion.
Yep. It's like forcing the carrier and the children into a financially and emotionally dangerous scenario. Like, you can still love and want your child and at the same time be a selfless person and recognize it is not what's best for you or the child. The amount of freaking psychological damage that is inflicted upon struggling people with unwanted pregnancies is just astronomical. So it's
and also they'd be like, well, you should have been careful. You shouldn't have gotten pregnant. Okay, cute. Also, contraceptives don't always work. They're not 100%.
Yep.
I have a cousin who has got, no, I can't. No. Anyway, she's gotten pregnant multiple times. She was using condoms every time.
Right. Well, and it's just like, and if you think of the lack of access that some people have, the lack of education some people have, the lack of supervision some people have, it's just, you can't come from an incredibly privileged standpoint and be like, well, that was your choice. You chose that. When you have no idea if these people were even aware of what kind of contraception and like choices were out there.
The amount of people I've heard about, this is intense for this, but using 2 condoms to prevent pregnancy that are dead serious.
Yeah.
That is actually the worst thing you do, because the condoms can actually rub against each other and poke holes. People are literally not educated because parents expect the school system teach them, school systems fail, and then those kids who have been failed by the school system then have their own kids.
Or their parents are fighting against the school system that's trying to educate them, saying that it's disgusting and they don't want their children sexualized.
Correct. So there's a whole thing that can't even be a discussion. Well, you shouldn't have gotten pregnant. Great.
Right.
I also shouldn't have done a lot of other things in my life, but they happened. Now let's deal with what's in front of us now. Can't fix the past. So what are we doing now? Right now, I should have a choice of what I want to do to deal with the consequences of my actions, if that's what you want to call them.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and Cole a few times claimed that they aren't pushing an anti-choice narrative. That they just want
that is.
It's exactly what it is. They just want to let mothers out there know that they have options. But clearly the goal of their video, like through the imagery, like the drastic imagery between literally showing a cartoon version of a late-term abortion and like clips of it, they didn't go full, but like it was enough. It was enough where it made me uncomfortable. Like between showing that and then immediately jumping into a clip of their happy kids running up a sunset-soaked hill and like laughing and giggling, like using manipulative tactics like that and using very narrow-minded narratives to like push your agenda, that's exactly what the goal of your video was. You wanted to cause uproar. You wanted to change people's minds. You
know what they could have done if they were truly pro-choice.
Mm-hmm.
They could, but they don't want abortions to happen. Okay. What if they could? Blaze is just jumping up and down. I don't know why. What they could have done.
He's fired up too.
I'm raising feminists over here. What they could have done was shown how great adoption and foster care can be and donate
Except
money.
It's not.
I know,
Except
but
it's
donate
not.
money to that. Because adoption and what they could do is show. Okay, you're right. What they could do. I'm just making up this whole marketing scheme in my mind right now.
No, I like that you're trying to like give them something.
They could do was show how terrible foster and adoption is, and then come up with a
There we
solution
go.
for it, and
There we
donate
go.
money to the foster and adoption things. Because right now, people could be like, okay, I could have this baby and give it up for adoption, but then they could think about the fact that the foster system in America is beyond repair. It is terrible. Kids are abused constantly. There are like in the a lot of places, but in the South, where foster parents take on kids of color and then basically torture them because they get a check every month for having them, and they torture these children and they give them nothing, and these kids are traumatized, and sometimes
a lot of time they're trafficked and used as sex props.
So the foster care and the adoptions in the States is garbage. So if they really wanted to make people more inclined to not have an abortion, let's fix that issue. So maybe more people will be like, okay, my baby will be taken care of. And like, I can't raise it. I'm okay with being pregnant and going through that, but I cannot raise this. Great. There is a clear, good solution to this.
Yep.
But
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I've personally met people that foster and that adopt, and they're incredible people.
Oh yeah, I know some great ones too. I've met a few.
That is my life goal.
It's not all terrible.
It's not all, but the majority.
These children, it's like something I don't want to risk.
Nope. It's bad enough. Exactly. It is bad enough that I would never risk it.
Correct.
Ever.
Yes.
Yeah. This whole concept of it, this whole concept has nothing to do with being pro-life. That was kind of what I was thinking about earlier, because I was thinking in my mind, I was like, if someone is truly pro-life, what does pro-life, what does that mean? Not pro-birth, pro-life. And if you are truly pro-life and pro-family and pro-children, where is their non-existent plea to help all the children that are in literal cages in the border?
Yeah, I was about to say,
like
what happened to those
on
kids?
the U.S. border. Yeah, who are being sexually assaulted and abused and ripped away from their families, which a lot of time they never see again, and dying from neglect. Where's your compassion for them? And
you're not going to compare
documentary?
Those children to the Holocaust. You're going to compare the children
because
that never actually have to
because
go
their parents did that to them. So that's on them. That's between them and God. Anyway, where is the documentary? Yeah, about all the children in the adoption system who are traumatized and neglected and beaten and trafficked and stuck within a system that leaves them to rot if they aren't white and able-bodied or young.
Or just really lucky.
Or really like it, right? And then where are the cries for help for all the anti-trans legislation, especially in Texas, that was ripping trans children away from their loving and supportive parents and throwing them into a foster system for no other reason than to diminish who they are? Where's your uproar with that? All you care about is that stupid clump of cells that you want birthed, and then you're just going to abandon them to be on their own once they're born, because you don't give a crap about actual children's lives. You just give a crap about controlling people's bodies. It's disgusting. No, thank you. Mm-mm. All of this, like,
I've never let Emily have full reign like this. I've never let her just go.
It's been a day because I had to watch the video over and over again. Again, I was watching through a screen recording, so I wasn't giving them the views, but I had to watch the video over and over and over again because I wanted to write down exact quotes. I wanted to write down exact imagery. And so it's like, it is ingrained in my brain how absolutely disgraceful this entire thing was. And I am so fired up about it. And like, I posted about it on my Instagram. I went on a little rant this morning and just like warning people not to watch the video. And I would say 99% of the feedback I got, everyone was like, yes, go off, fire, you know, we love you, blah, blah, blah. But like even the messages that came in that were like, well, you don't understand. Oh, I had someone message me and she was like, how are you going to comment on a video you haven't even seen? And I was like, well, I saw enough clips from like all these other people reposting their exact quotes and like recordings from the video that I can form an opinion. And I was like, and I will watch the full thing to make sure it's not being taken out of context, but also how do you take that crap out of context? And then she was like, well, I'm going to watch the full video and I'll let you know what I think. And I was like, please don't. Went to go, she did it anyway. And then she messaged me and she was like, I think it's a good video. And I could see where they're coming from and you should look into the charity. And anyway, I'm just fired up. I'm fired up because people are dumb. Like, how can you watch that and be like, that's
my favorite
some
part
quality content.
Oh, I'm sweating because I'm so upset.
Same.
My favorite is he interviewed people that were not aborted. Great. Same, bro. Like, yeah, that's how science works.
Cool.
That's how math works. If you're born, then you weren't, and then you know. Most people are excited that they were born. Then I said most.
Depends on the day.
So like, what was that interview? Also, just because a doctor says it doesn't mean you have to listen to it. There are doctors that are anti-vax and anti-masks, but a few. If I like to go with the good majority of science. So when 99% are like, yo, this is the facts, and then that 1%'s like, nah, I'm not gonna listen to that.
Well, that's just like I had someone back when the whole Trump election was going on. I had someone because I was arguing with them about how Trump is racist and doesn't support the Black community or like any non-white community, and you know how he's damaging towards those types of communities and those people and you know whatever. And they pulled up a clip of Candace Owens. Do you know who Candace Owens is?
I know Candace Owens. My girlfriend. She does not. Yeah. She cannot stand her because she's the one that told Harry Styles he can't wear a dress, right?
Yeah. That was like the least disgusting thing she's ever said.
But that's how her name started popping up, and it's been forever just a downward spiral.
Right. If you don't know who Candace Owens is she's a Black political commentator, and she was in full support of Trump. And so my argument when this person was like, well, Trump obviously doesn't hate Black people because why does this? It's like the same argument of why did Kanye support him for a while? Well, Kanye is Black, so Trump can't be racist because Kanye is Black and he supports him. You can always find someone. That went through a transition surgery and regrets it. You can always find someone that went through with an abortion and regrets it. Like you can always dig and find exactly what you need to support your argument. But that does not mean that it is right, it is logical, and it supports the majority. Like that's just not how it is.
Nope.
Yeah.
Before we continue, let's check to see if we have one more sponsor for today. Sponsor. Carpe is our sponsor for today. I'm pretty sure that I sweat more than the average human. If it's hot out during the day, I have to change my shirt multiple times just to stay dry. And I'm not talking just in the armpit area. And most products only help with armpit sweat. Well, now you don't have to sweat about sweating because Carpe is here to help because it stops the sweating all over. Carpe is the #1 dermatologist recommended brand for sweat all over the body, and it has scientifically tested and proven anti-sweat products for the hands, feet, underarms, face, breast, groin, basically just anywhere on your body that sweat could happen. Carpe is there to help. And with Carpe, sweat won't be bothering you anymore. So try Carpe today. Go to mycarpe.com to get free shipping. And for a limited time, get 25% off when you order today and use code AllThingsInternet at mycarpe.com. That's MyCarpe.com. CARPE.com. And Carpe offers 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. So you can try it risk-free. Okay. I can't remember. I mean, was there anything else you wanted to touch on as to like...
Let me look real quick. We talked about his dumb comment. We talked about all of his dumb comments. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think just the whole concept of him being like, this isn't an anti-choice documentary. This is just about informing people. Well, yeah, informing people about the...
Misinforming people.
Thank you. About the choices they have, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. I just think it's BS. And I think they're just too spineless to come straight forward and say that they're anti-abortion because they're scared of losing their platform. I don't think they should be hiding their true intentions. It's own up to it. Own up to being a piece of crap.
We're owning up to it, and we will lose followers for it. But this is not. This is so stupid.
Don't care.
This is so stupid. Like their story. The reason I know that this is a problem in life. Their story worked out. Their story worked out, and they only know their life experiences, and their life experiences worked out. Every life experience is different. It's like when people are like, there's no racism in the world because they live in a tiny little bubble where they don't experience it. That does not mean racism does not exist. It's just the same as everything. Like, well, I've never seen that, so it can't be true. That's impossible.
Right.
I've never seen a bridge built, so I don't think they get built. They just magically exist. Like, just because it's not my experience doesn't mean it's not true. And that is what's happening with them. They had the experience people dream of. Not dream of, but like in that scenario when like this really difficult thing is happening and she chose to go through with it, the best case scenario came out of it.
And again, because she had incredibly privileged circumstances.
Yes.
If she had an absent family, if she hadn't have been as attractive as she is, if she hadn't had the stamina and the resources to create these social media platforms instead of working 3 to 4 jobs, you know, just to put food on the table for your child that you didn't want.
And to pay for the daycare.
She would have never had any of this.
So I'm so happy that for that there's a story where that works out. I'm so glad that can happen for some people, but that is not the scenario. And people need to be able to have the choice and the informed choice to decide how they want to go forward with a decision that is brought to them. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's so dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Especially when they have a platform that is made up of majority of teens and young adults that are super, super influential and look up to them and glamorize their life. For these two people to know that they have that position of power and to spew this to their audience is dangerous.
I wouldn't be just as annoyed, but I would not, like, imagine if someone posted a video saying, if you're pregnant, you better get an abortion. Like, that's like the opposite. That would be terrible. I wouldn't stand by that. Because the thing is, if they were just like showing pictures of terrible babies and like the glamorous life you get to live without children or whatever, and they're like, get an abortion. I'm not saying I'm pro-birth or whatever, or like I'm just saying get an abortion. I'm like, that is terrible. That is absolutely terrible because that also is misinformation. People need to have informed decisions on both sides of like what could happen, and they need to be able to make that choice for themselves.
Right.
Like telling someone what to do with their body either or is terrible. Telling them they have to get an abortion or they have to go through with the pregnancy is terrible.
Right.
And so their video is, they can't say they're, you know, it's not pro-life when they're clearly only showing one side.
Right. And they know that their audience is easily influenced. I mean, they admitted that. They said, Cole said something along the lines of like, I don't care if this saves 1 baby or 2 babies or 10,000 babies. Like, this will be worth it. Like, we know we're going to get canceled, but we don't care because the babies.
They're also going to get their name in the press, and they are going to get more people on their side. And I knew that. It's a business move for them. And it's
dumb though. Okay. I was literally just talking about this with Emma. How badly did they just screw over Everly? So if you don't know, so Savannah's first child was Everly. That's how she made her whole name is through filming her cute kid and her sassy kid and putting her kid all over the internet. That's how she made her fame. And Everly's whole spiel is that she collabs with big names on YouTube. Like she's always not always, but like she's been in a few JoJo Siwa videos. She's been like in a few other like any big YouTuber that works with children as a brand, Everly's appeared in their videos. Yes. Or, you know, they just screwed her over. Those poor kids, those poor children. They just, either they ruined her career or they just launched it. And
okay, what was Trump's campaign manager's daughter? Did you see her on TikTok?
You saw something I didn't.
Because this was years ago. Trump's campaign manager, the one that just, I don't remember, like, she was, oh my God. SNL made fun of her so much. Her daughter is a hardcore Democrat liberal. And so she would go on
no. Claudia,
yes,
right?
Yes. Yeah. She would go on TikTok
and
just spew the opposite of whatever her mom said and be like, that's a lie. Everyone has COVID.
Like, oh, yeah. So
Everly either has to go along with her parents or turn into that.
We talk about this all the time. It's like a big thing on the internet, but like we love to sit around and talk about it. Is like we cannot wait for this generation of children that have been forced onto YouTube to come into their own. Because either they're going to continue it and they're going to love it and they're going to be like, no, it was exactly how it was. And it was so much fun. And I loved having my parents like home and like, you know, whatever. Yeah. Or it's going to be like the Ace family kids. One of them is going to come forward and spill so much tea on that family and talk about how disgusting their childhood was and how they hate their parents. And I feel so sorry for these kids.
It depends on the kid. It depends on the family. I don't want to get to that's I think a whole other discussion of child stars and whatnot, and I don't want to assume anything about the kids, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I think they just ruined her career.
I mean, she might not even in 10 years she might be like, I didn't even want to do that. She might have other plans.
True.
How old is she now?
I want to say she's 10.
Okay. Well,
I think.
That's fine.
Last thing I wanted to get your opinion on.
Oh God. Okay.
Why YouTube has not demonetized this yet? Let's talk about that for a second, because YouTube has a track record of demonetizing politically motivated videos and creators. Really anything they find controversial. Like gay people get their videos demonetized all the time. Queer people get their videos demonetized. Body neutrality creators, body positivity creators, mental health advocates, all like a Black Lives Matter advocate, like any type of advocate has examples
they're advocates for liberals, and YouTube is run by their ads, and ads are run by companies, and companies are run by really rich white men the majority of the time,
right? Who
are usually Republican. So YouTube demonetizes the stuff that goes against what the Republicans want. In the majority.
That's America's tagline. It's what the Republicans want.
It's what the Republicans want.
Oh my God. Also, when you were talking earlier and you were like, yeah, I would never tell someone to get an abortion and not have a kid. I was like, that's exactly what Fox News thinks that we're doing. We're like sitting over here and we're like, everyone should get abortion.
I want you to have the informed decision and make it on your own. I have friends who've decided to go through and friends who've decided who've not. And I support whatever decision. Yep. And when they have to go through with it, it is hard for them. And I'm there emotionally for them. And it's happened a few times, but it's been really hard. And I don't sit there. I never tell them what to do. And they have to come to the decision on their own. And they sometimes they'll weigh pros and cons with me. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes it's like, I've already thought about it. I can't do it. Or I'm like, okay, I'm not going to, that is your choice to make. That is your choice to make. And that's...
Well, according to Fox News, we're, hoarding the fetuses and burning them in a sacrificial ceremony.
I've never had a friend or someone tell me that they are pregnant and me go, get an abortion.
Oh, right.
Never.
Right.
Never. There's been a few times where I go, are we happy? They're like, I'm pregnant. I'm like, are we happy?
Yes. That's been my response once or twice. I'm like, okay, is this a good thing? Are we excited?
Yeah, and when people, if I've known they've been trying, then I'm all excited for them.
Right.
And if they say we're happy, I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Right.
Like,
oh my God. Also, I just I scrolled down through my notes and I forgot to mention everyone who slid into my DMs this morning, God bless you, because everyone was sending me just these nasty tweets that Cole put out there. And the first one was, I don't even know how long ago this was, but he tweeted, I may just wait 20 years for David Beckham's 3-year-old daughter because God knows she's going to be gorgeous. And then he also tweeted, I don't even know if we're allowed to say this word. Sexual is a terrible thing.
Essay. I've noticed on Twitter, TikTok, people just say essay.
Okay. So essay is a terrible thing. I have compassion for all victims. However,
nope.
The really bad, the worst essay is less than 0.5% of all abortions. It's very uncommon. I would strongly encourage my daughter to have the baby. I would happily love and raise that baby as my own if she did not want to. So thanks for sending me those.
I'm absolute. Wow.
Yeah. So that's it.
Wow, I'm actually speechless. You think all women should, if they're
no, I don't know if we can say the word.
I know. Grape is what they say on TikTok.
Yeah, there we go.
If they are what
you know what we're saying. If they are.
If that and they accidentally get pregnant from that assault on them. You want all women to have to go through that because if that happened to your daughter, you'd raise the baby for her. Because you want all women to have to go through that because you, one human being on earth, say
with lots and lots and lots of money,
say you would father the child happily. Not a chance. Again, your own experience does not dictate the world. How you function does not dictate the world. But as a white man, I guess you think that. That was...
Yep. Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted by that statement.
When I first saw, because I woke up, I slept in today. It was the first time in a month I'd slept in. And I opened Instagram, as one does, first thing in the morning. And I saw all of these DMs from our listeners basically being like, can you please cover this? I don't know how I didn't see this last night. Maybe it just didn't get popular until this morning. But anyway, so I was watching the little clips that people were sending me on Instagram, and I was reading through the descriptions and the tweets and everything. And it was the first time in a very long time I had found myself genuinely with nothing to say immediately. My brain went blank. It was so disgusting. It took me a solid 2 minutes to process what I was reading.
No.
This whole thing is just...
I mean, we're almost out of time, and I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface of anything.
I know.
Clearly, the documentary was put out clearly to, one, raise money, and two, get hype around their name. And that's what they're doing. And it's gross. And I don't like it, obviously.
Also, if anyone tries to comment, I do read all of the comments because I like to know what you guys like and what you don't. I like to know if I messed up on something. I read all the comments. If anyone tries to comment anti-choice, BS, blocked immediately. Bye. So you've been warned. I'm not interested in reading it.
I allow discussions, not disgusting comments.
There we go.
So if we can
talk about it,
own a personal experience or your own viewpoint, that's fine. The second it gets disgusting, it's not allowed.
And it's just getting blocked. I have no interest in reading that. I have no interest in that being on our page. I have no interest in other people seeing that. So
if you spew misinformation, it's not happening. If you have a correct piece of information, go for it.
Or if you have any updates, I love going back and reading updates on stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of stuff that I don't catch. So if you have updates on this or any news, I love reading that stuff.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah. We needed to talk about this.
Apparently. And like, I don't have to deal with surprise pregnancies. Like,
Yeah.
I've never dealt with a surprise pregnancy, and I know I never will. And even though, because I never will have to deal with it, doesn't mean that means I'm like, well, the choice shouldn't exist because I don't have to deal with it. So
Right.
like, that's what they're doing. They're like, well, I would do that. If I'm still upset about his tweet. I'm still upset about the tweet of, if his daughter had to go through that, he'd be there. Great. That's something you tell your daughter if that happens to her.
Or don't. Keep that to yourself.
No, like, if I know, but like, what you could do is, like, I'm saying, like, if she was like, this terrible thing happened to me, I am now pregnant because of it, he could be like, if you want to go through with it, I'd happily raise that baby, but if you don't, that's your choice. That is the only time when you could possibly say something like that. You're against it, but that's the only time when I'm like, I'm not going to be super mad about that statement. But tweeting that because he would do that, because he was trying to get, you know what he did with that tweet? Oh, because I remember what type of person he is. He was trying to get girls to go, oh my God, you're such a great guy. Oh my God, you would do that for her. Oh my God, you're such a good Christian man. I'm wet. Sorry, we're on ATI.
Yeah.
I think we have to end this.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Do we want to, I have like really quick news blurbs because I figured I didn't want this whole thing to
Just
be.
say them real quick so that we can say that we said them.
Okay. So JoJo Siwa made a drastic change to her appearance this week.
Got her hair off. I had to mentally prepare Emily before JoJo went live with it. I was like, just so you know, this is happening.
Yeah, she's like, I just didn't want you seeing it on Instagram and like being caught off guard. And I was like, ah. So yes, that was really nice.
She loves it. She's thriving.
I know, she looks so happy.
She sent me pictures of what she wanted beforehand, and it's exactly what she got. And so I'm like, it's exactly what she wanted. I'm so happy for her.
Right. Also, last night, did you see she posted on Instagram and said she wasn't invited to the Nickelodeon's Kid Choice Awards, but they used her song in the program but didn't invite her to it.
That's the tea. That's the tea. Yep.
Maybe we'll talk more about that next week. Jennifer Lopez just announced her engagement to Ben Affleck. Trisha Paytas announced that they are having a girl. And that was pretty much it for like the quick ones. I mean, I did have Doja Cat missing winning her Grammy because she was in the bathroom. Did you see that?
I love her.
I love her so much.
I love her so much.
She was in the bathroom when they announced that she won the best pop duo for her performance with Kiss Me More. And then, you know, her assistant realized that she had won. And so she raced into the bathroom and apparently like grabbed her out of the stall and was like, we gotta go. And so like there's this like video of her assistant like booking her through the audience. And the first thing that Doja said when she got up on stage to accept her award is, I've never taken such a fast piss in my entire life. Everything about her.
I love her
Vibes.
so much.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. We will be back.
Thanks for letting us talk so long.
We will be back next week with a normal episode of multiple news things. A nod to my mom, games, and a question. Yeah. But this one was
needed to happen.
A passionate one.
Yeah.
To just us. All right, those are our opinions. That's what happened. I love you guys. Follow us on any platform, and we'll see you next week. Emily, have anything else to say?
Nope, just love you guys, and thanks for giving us a platform to talk about this kind of stuff.
Thank you. I love you guys. See you next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of All Things Internet. Please make sure to like and follow our podcast on whichever platform you're currently listening to it on. And make sure to follow us at Podcast ATI on Twitter, where you can ask questions and get the latest updates on our show. We love you. Thanks for listening. I'm Rachel Ballinger, and this has been All Things Internet.